Hello, I'm Loosemore and welcome to a top 10 list for Win Some Loosemore. It's going to be slightly different, a little bit more negative maybe. I want to talk about my top 10 disappointments in games. Now these are games that I've tried and either wanted to like or have heard good things about, tried them and gone, either they're bad and I don't like them, or they just didn't meet kind of the expectations that I had for them. I've ordered this slightly differently. Number one is not my biggest disappointment. Number one is the game that I've given most chances to and still am not convinced by. And so the first three, I've got my list down here if I keep looking away. The first three I've only played once, and let's just jump straight in because number 10 is a little unfair. Number 10 is Power Grid. I only tried this once. This was my brother's copy, and I've heard good things. It's kind of gamer's Monopoly, really, to me. I apologise if that offends you. Where you're building out little houses on this map of, I think we played Germany. I think there are different maps that you can use, just trying to supply power, and then there are these beautiful cards. The graphic design's great. That you're getting to get you to go to more places, to produce more resources, to be able to supply the power to those places. So it's an economic kind of game that is well reputed. I think it's in the Board Game Geek top 100. And so I was like, oh, this is interesting, slightly heavier game. Good, let's sit down and play it. Now, this is a little bit unfair because toddlers were involved, and that's not their fault. And it's not my brother's fault, it's not the game's fault, it's no one's fault. It's just the fact of having small children around meant the game took about 3 hours for a learning game that's a little bit mathy, a little bit economic, you have to figure out. And it was slow and I wasn't very good at it. I was okay. I'm now thinking I might have won, actually. Never mind. But it was fine, but it's number 10 because it was unfair. I would play it again, I'll give it a go. Number 9, I never want to play it again. Again, I only tried this once. This is one that I think is to do with the type of gamer that I am. I don't like the get up and perform type games. I don't like that. This isn't exactly that. This is a game called Cash and Guns, where what you're doing is there's some loot cards that are put out and you're trying to get the most of it by surviving a few rounds of shooting each other. Okay, how do you do that? Well, you point guns at each other. Okay, but maybe you're shooting them, maybe you're not, and if you take so many wounds then you're not eligible, and then all you get is a card or first choice of cards of whoever's left. That's not fun. That's not fun for me. I know some groups have a great laugh, like getting annoyed at each other. Why are you pointing at me? Why? Because I think you got two and you're pointing at two different people. These foam, kind of almost life size, but clearly not real guns that you're kind of pointing at each other. And that was the whole game. And I won super easily. I think there were like 6 or 7 of us. Maybe if I played again, I wouldn't win so easily. That's fine. But there was just nothing fun about it. I didn't enjoy having people point guns in my faces. I didn't enjoy pointing my gun in other people's faces, and you could kind of game out the set collection to score out the most points, and if people just picked on you, there was nothing you could do about it, and so not fun. Cash and Guns. Sorry, people that love it. I don't. Similarly, this is probably one of the bigger ones. There's a couple of games on this list I think people will be annoyed at. I think 1, 2, 3, 5 of these games are in the top 100 ranked games of all time on Board Game Geek. Soz. Number 8 is 7 Wonders. I love 7 Wonders Duel. I love Sushi Go. I love Tides of Time. I love drafting. I love that mechanism. I like civilization themed games, Peloponnese, Tapestry, these kind of games. I enjoy them. I didn't enjoy 7 Wonders. It wasn't interesting, it wasn't fun. drafting, great mechanism, loved it. It was Seven Wonders Duel, but without the kind of way that I wanted to play, and maybe that was just my preconceptions going in, because this is a load of some people's number one game. I think, is it Rado or James Stegmaier, someone like that I watch a lot of. It's then like number one game, or it's in loads of people's top 10 at least. And it was fine. Again, 6 or 7 of us, I think, so it was okay, but I can only really affect the person next to me. If I hand off those cards to them, I'm never seeing them again, and so I have to pay a little bit of attention of what do I want versus what do I not want to give them. That's fine, that's inherent in pick and pass drafting games, that's fine. But then this is one mechanism that I just hated it. It's military. I don't like it. In something like Sushi Go Party, where it's just pure pick and pass, you're just building your own thing. It doesn't really matter, you can hate draft, but you're just building your own thing. That's it, you just score your own points, done. That's fine, that's good. So in a 6-7 player game, it doesn't matter if you never see those cards again, because you don't really have to think about that. In Seven Wonders, at the end of each round, I think, you compare your number of red cards or military points that you've accrued versus the person on your right and left, and you gain points or lose points more and more and more each round as to whether you have more or less than them. You have this little fight between you. Why? That's not interesting, that's not fun. That's distracting from the whole thing. I want to go up to this one type of thing, I want to build this strategy, and I've just been screwed because I didn't do military. I like games that you have to do a little bit of everything of. I like games where you can just focus in on one thing. This kind of went focusing on a couple of things to do really well. Oh, and by the way, don't forget this or you'll be dead. Ugh, people love it. I'm probably wrong, but I was not impressed. So, number 7. Played it a couple of times, tried it, really tried to like it, really did. I love Lord of the Rings. I've liked pretty much every other Lord of the Rings game I've played. Even the old Rana Knizia co-op game was better than this in my opinion. Not better, more enjoyable. I understand that Journeys in Middle-earth is a better game. I recognise that. I just wanted to love it, and I didn't. I sat down, I taught myself a solo game, got the app, had it all running. Some of it's interesting. The production's good. It's immersive. It does everything I wanted it to. I watched five or six different reviews, I think, just before I bought it, because it was a hefty-ish price. I think it was like £60, 60, 70 sometimes. And it just wasn't fun. Maybe it's because I tried it solo and tried to teach myself, and I'd have had more fun as a group, but I finished the first game, because there's a story you're working through. I finished the first one, I was like, okay, interesting. Yes, I do prefer a card deck mechanism rather than rolling dice to resolve things, yes. But I need to be able to think in a deck construction type way to know which card to use, and I've never been good at deck construction. It's my least favourite part of Lord of the Rings Living Card Game, or Yu-Gi-Oh! That I used to play. The actual construction, I'd go look up good decks and just try and construct those. And so those, which one do I choose? I don't necessarily have the thinking power to figure that out nicely, and so I was distracted from this wonderful world that's created, and app integration intrigues me. I'm not somebody who's against it or afraid of it or anything. If it works, it works, and I was told it worked really well, and I played it, and I was like, oh, I can cheat so easily. It's not actually controlling anything, it's just, I could just turn a dial, like, other than it telling me what tile goes where. It didn't need it. Maybe it does, maybe later in the game it's more important. So I tried it again, just didn't like it. I wanted to, maybe if I'd kept it, as I say, I played it with my group, maybe we'd have liked it and we'd have gone through it. Just disappointed. Wasn't that fussed by it. Similarly, again, now I'm into the 3 times I played this, maybe even 4, I don't remember exactly. Clever little Euro that people like a lot. Number 6 is Coimbra. As soon as I got it, posted a couple of pictures on Instagram, immediately had feedback from a couple of people going, "You're going to love this game, it's great, this is one of our favorites, have fun." Cool. It's got these little castle type pieces that you put the dice that you've drafted into to show that it's yours. Cool. The artwork is a beautiful style that I've never seen before. It's lovely. The production quality is Eggerspiel, I think, is wonderful. The insert works really well, although there's clearly an expansion slot for an expansion that seems impossible to get, but never mind. And we played it, and I was like, yeah, I like the drafting. I like the dice drafting. That's good. Cool. Oh, and I get to build up in these different tracks. Okay, good. Okay, we played it again. That's it. That is the entire depth of the game, and the cards that come out that you can recruit to build up on those tracks are the same cards every game. Yeah, slightly different order, slightly different placement, so they're associated with different costs. Okay, we'll leave it for a little while, come back, play it again. We were done. We were done after 2 plays. The third play was just meh at best. It really was fine. Again, maybe higher player counts. It's more interesting because there's more competition for the dice, although their scaling mechanism with those little die tokens works well in the order of who's taking what. I'm sorry if you love it, and I'm sorry if it's one of your favorites. Great. I can see why people like it, and the production, as I say, is brilliant. I would check it out if it's cheap, just because the production's great. Just couldn't get much out of it. There wasn't the decision space that I wanted. Equally disappointing in terms of depth and replayability. Not replayability, that's not fair, but how much I wanted to play it again, I suppose, is more the thing. Number 5, Shipwreck Arcana. This was a Kickstarter from a couple of years ago, and then they did an expansion, so it came out again, and so we jumped onto the second one. So it arrived. It's a clever little deduction games. Iga Garcia from Dice Tower was like, "This is great." I think it was in his top 100 once or twice. And it's a cool little deduction thing where cooperatively you're giving a little piece of information. You draw 2 tiles, I think they're numbered 1 to 7. It's been a little while. And you show one of them and place it on a card that has a rule on it. So if your 2 numbers match, you can place it here, so you know what the other one in my hand is, and you want to guess what the one in my hand is, the one I didn't show you. And if you can't guess, you lose time and everything, and if you guess it correct, hooray, we need to get like 8 guesses correct or something in the game to win. Sounded really interesting, really intriguing, really inexpensive. Good, let's give it a go. Again, tried it at 2-player. We won. Cool. Okay. Cool. Maybe we're just good at it, because the fading thing, once a card's been used so many times, it disappears, but then it gives you a power. Cool. Let's see if we just got lucky with those. Let's play it again. Again, won quite convincingly. I think we made 1 mistake in the whole game. I was like, okay, maybe this is a scaling issue. Took it to my group. Again, we played it a couple of times and just won. Just quite simply, quite straightforward. Those powers that the faded cards give you are super useful, super powerful. So just don't make a couple of guesses for a couple of rounds, build up those powers, and you've won. I didn't get the sense of challenge. I wanted to like this a lot. The artwork, again, the style is crazy. I've never seen it before. Loved it. There just wasn't enough to it. Sorry, had to get rid of it. Number 4. Oh, this is an interesting one. So, early on in our experience with games, I'm just going to look behind me a quick sec. Yes, cool. Early on in my experience with games, we're told about, and loads of people were talking about this game here, Race for the Galaxy. I was just checking that it was there. And everybody said, it's amazing, but it's not Race for the Galaxy, by the way. That's not the game I'm talking about. I love that game. It's been in my top 10 a few times. But the iconography is really dense, really hard, it's hard to learn, and we were so early in our experience with games that we were like, oh, probably not for us yet. We're still early on, we're still learning Star Realms and simple little basic games. Okay, cool. Then they announced, whoa, they've come out with a super stripped down, easy, quick version, Jump Drive. It's like Race for the Galaxy, but intro and quick, and get it. Cool, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to know what they were talking about with Race for the Galaxy, but I wanted to be able to get my head around it this time. Okay, so we got it, and it was relatively inexpensive, and it is quick. And we played this 4 or 5 times, and each time the game ended. I was like, oh, it ended. Oh, I didn't really get to do anything. Whether I won or lost, that wasn't the point. It's first 50 points, and first couple of rounds you get 1 or 2 points, and you get like 20 points, then you get like 30 points, and the game's over, and you're like, oh, okay, I get like 5 turns in this game. Cool. That's the whole game. That's it. And I was bored, and it was not exciting, and I just found myself wanting more out of the game. So then I did pick up Race for the Galaxy and went, this is not as inaccessible as everybody was talking about. This is great. There's decent player aids, so the iconography, I can get used to it. I'm still no good at one of the rules, one of the main actions I'm still no good at. Still can't get my head around. I can play it right, and I can get taught it right. I can't teach it well. But Jump Drive, if that's the level you're looking for, great. I've played it with people that really enjoyed it because it suited exactly what they were looking for. For me, no. I just was always left wanting something else. Number 3 pains me a little bit. We'd played Patchwork, love Patchwork, love it, still in my collection. 2-player tile drafting, but like polyomino tiles, Tetris pieces, and you're just filling up your board with a slight economy thing. And it's an intro. I've played it with my mum, she loved it, and she does not think of herself as a gamer at all. She doesn't, it takes a bit of coaxing to get her to play anything, but she really enjoyed it. Good. That's the kind of intro game that I like. And then we were told, and I heard about, and all these people were talking about Baron Park, which does that, but is a little bit bigger and more interesting. You can play up to 4. And I was like, yes, this is the next thing. This is the thing I wanted. Cool. Let's get Baron Park. I got Baron Park, played it, went, I prefer Patchwork, but that's okay. Let's show it to some people. Let's try it at different player counts. Let's use some of the goal things that come in it to make it more interesting. It wasn't more interesting. I don't know what people are talking about with Baron Park. It's fine at best. I mean, don't fight me. I'll lose, but I don't get it. It's absolutely fine. I've not played many polyomino games, and maybe it's just that Patchwork being the 2-player fast experience that is just so simple, maybe I wouldn't like other ones. I don't know. I haven't really tried them. But Baron Park just fell flat, and there is no theme. The expansion looks interesting, adds the little monorails and things to make your place looking a bit more 3D. So that might have saved it had I held on to it long enough. But again, 4 or 5 times, tried it with different people. Again, my parents and friends, us on our own, just tried it, and never worked for me. Never worked. Baron Park. Number 2 is Pandemic. I'm just going to get that out there quickly. I don't care for it. It's alright. I don't get what the hype is. I don't. And I'm talking about basic Pandemic, normal Pandemic. And maybe this is coloured by the fact that I've played it as a predominantly 2-player thing, and 2-player is incredibly easy compared to others. I think we've played it even on the hardest thing, where all of the cards which trigger bad things are in there. And still, if I lost, it was by like a turn. It doesn't solo well, in my opinion. I don't like playing 2 players at the same time. The theme is good and it's well done. It just wasn't rich enough for me. I prefer Thunderbirds. I prefer Forbidden Island, which is like a super simple small version. I preferred Fall of Rome. That one I really enjoyed. I really liked that one. Although, ironically, I still have a copy of Pandemic and I don't have Fall of Rome anymore. I played Iberia, and that was better. That was a bit harder. That was added some more interesting things to it. And I know how influential Pandemic has been, and it's inspired loads of co-ops and how they work, and some of the ones I really enjoy are based really on a Pandemic system. I've not played Legacy. That's people's argument to me is, oh, you need to play Legacy. That will do it. And maybe. I don't care for Pandemic. It's okay. It's fine. I get what it's done in terms of design and within the industry and bringing people in because it is so accessible. But it's fine. I've played it 6 or 7 times. It's fine. And then number one's difficult because I understand the hype. I understand it. I bought this as a pre-order. I got this as soon as it came out. I played it with loads of people. I've played this probably around 10 times, and each time desperately wanted to like it more than I did. This is Wingspan. It is beautiful. It is charming. It is accessible. It is clever. It is deserving of all the awards and everything. But whether you agree with that or not, I get why people love this game. I get why it is shot up. It just doesn't satisfy me at all. I love Stonemaier games. Still possibly my favourite design teams. Well, some of my favourite games have come out of them. I love their production quality. I love the values that they present, whether there's arguments I'm not going to get into now, but I love their work. I love what they do. I love what it's done for the hobby. I love everything about it. I love the stories that have come out from other people teaching it to other people, and they've had a great time. It's too random for me. And that sounds weird because it's a strategy game and it's not that random at all, but how those birds come out balanced against the 2 kind of bonus point scoring cards that you get at the beginning can be huge. And in a higher player count where the round goals are asking for specific things and those cards seem to be taken every time before they come to you. And again, it is a little similar to Race for the Galaxy, but Race for the Galaxy is so quick, and so you can just shift your strategy so quickly. And Wingspan, you can't really. The concepts are great. If I were to explain it, I'd probably get a little excited about it because that you're building up your actions to make those actions stronger, but then you get all these bonus things like it as an engine builder. It's great, but it's not as simple as it looks. The sliding your cube along to trigger all of those things when you take the action on that row makes complete sense to a gamer. It really does. But I've taught it to gamers and non-gamers, and they just forgot to do it and just weren't triggering their extra stuff. I don't know why. That just seems to be the one rule that people go, oh yeah, what's that one? Oh yeah, oh I could have got, oh no, oh yeah. Everyone seems to forget it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the people I've played with. It's beautiful. It is. After I played with my parents, my dad just sat there. He doesn't care about birds as far as I know, but he just sat there looking through every single card, looking at the artwork, reading the little facts. It's brilliant product. It really is. I would recommend it. I even did a why I like for it. But in terms of what I was expecting from it and got from it, the experience was just disappointing. And I'm told the first expansion kind of fixed some of that and introduced enough other variety that the randomness actually was okay, because you're going to be able to balance stuff out anyway, or the quick start pack that they now include kind of pushes you in a direction so you have more ability to have a helpful strategy from early on. Sure, great. And if you pick it up and love it, amazing. It is good. I wanted it to be amazing, and for me, it's not. So those are 10 games that disappointed me to one degree or another for different reasons. Do pop down in the comments what your games are that you wanted to like and didn't, or wanted to like amazingly and it's just good, it's fine. Whatever it is, or you hated them, whatever it might be. I don't think I hated any of these games. Cash and Guns I hated. But that's just the style of game that I just don't like. Do the usual stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on social media. Just search Win Some Loosemore. You'll find us on the usual platforms. I'll see you again soon. I've been Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Goodbye.